Okay, so basically what we want to do is create a Next.js template, right? So create a Next.js template. And we already talked about what Next.js is important for us. So let's start with that. So the first thing that we're going to do is to create an empty repository in GitHub. Why in an empty repository? It's basically because we need a code space, right? And if you have your own machine, right, if you're working in your own machine and you want to work out of code spaces, you can just go to the terminal and run the commands that we would run. But because we need a terminal and we need a code space for that terminal, right? So my first step is to create an empty repo, and let's go to and do that. So I will go to my repo, to my account, and create a new repo. So I am the owner. By the way, make yourself the owner, right? Don't make 4Geeks Academy the owner. This is your template. Okay, and let's call this Nextjs template. Actually, let's call it, yeah, Nextjs template. Or React template. The name is up to you. Now, you can initialize the repository with a README. Please do. So we have an empty repo that actually have a commit, right? If you don't check this at README, then you will have an empty repo that doesn't have any commits, and code spaces cannot be opened there, right? So what I need is a repo with something inside, so I can open a code space in that repo, and then I can start adding files to that repo. Okay?
It's better to publish it public or private?
Public, I guess, is fine. You want to make it public, actually, right? So you want it, when you make it private, people going to your GitHub account will not see it, and you actually want the opposite. You want them to see it, right? So let's create this repo. And you see that the template, the repo initially only has this README file. Okay? It's empty, but we can open code spaces in it. Got it? You're good?
No.
No? What happened? Okay, so open code spaces is right there.
We have to go private or public?
Let's do it public.
Public.
Yes.
So we need to add
A README, yes.
in the framework.
Yeah. So we will create a repo with one file, and that file means one commit, so we can open code spaces inside. When you open code spaces, you will get something like this. Just a code space with nothing inside. Just one file, of course. We ready? Let me know. Okay, so what we're going to do is to install Next.js. And by the way, get familiar with the Next.js website. So go to nextjs.org, and you will see in the docs, you will see how to install. Now, the first requirement that you will see there is that we need Node.js 18 or later. So we have to be sure that our code spaces is running that version of Node. And the way to check is by running node-v on the terminal. and we're running version 20, so we're good.
20? Why do I have 18?
I guess my code spaces are paid. I'm a pro.
No, I'm doing it local.
You have, oh, you're local?
Yeah.
That's fine, 18 is good.
18 is good?
Yeah, because check the documentation. You see, 18.17 or
I
later.
got 18.15.
Okay, you need to upgrade.
16.
Professor, like for example, we're in this code space, it's a brand new template, it's a brand new repository. Why is it still tripping all the dependencies from the templates from?
No, it shouldn't
It
install
be doing that,
anything.
right?
No, nothing there. So I always recommend that you read the documentation, right? So the next step is to run this command, npx create app, create next app, latest. So this will install a Next.js app with the latest version. And we can go to the code space and run that. Now you will see that it will start asking me some questions. So the first question is, what's your project name? Oh, interesting. Okay. Let's stop this for a second. And we have to go one folder up.
So don't do the MPX?
No. Control C, stop that, and go one folder up with cd dot dot. The reason is because it will create a new project, but it will create a folder for that project. And we don't want to create another folder. We want to create a project in that same folder.
And you want it on
Workspaces, yeah.
So we are in workspaces now.
CD dot dot?
Yeah, cd space dot dot.
Space?
Space, yeah, space. Help her get because we are so. Okay, so here we can run the command npx create next app add latest, and you can use the same name of your project. My name is Nextjs -template. Oh my god. I think we had to remove the readme, so let's do it. Okay, let's do it again. Nextjs template. Okay, first question. Would you like to use TypeScript? If you are learning TypeScript, do yes, but we are not there yet, so choose no. And you can choose with the cursors, right? With the arrows on your keyboard. So I will choose no. This will be a JavaScript project, not a TypeScript project. Okay, hit no. Would you like to use ESLint? Yes, and I will explain what ESLint later. Okay? Yes to ESLint. Would you like to use Tailwind CSS? We will hit no because we want to install Bootstrap, no Tailwind. If you want to use Tailwind, you can have it installed in your template, but not in this template. Would you like to use a source directory? Of course, yes. Would you like to use the app router? Even if it's recommended, we will hit no for now, because right now we want to make a template that is a little bit easier to use, right? And this is like an advanced Next.js concept about app router. Would you like to customize the default import alias? I would say yes here.
What if you do after the CD command?
Space dot dot.
Yeah, then after that, you just.
I removed the readme, the command.
After the CD dot dot.
You had to remove the readme, right? Remember, remove the readme file that you have. And then the command is that npx space. You can find that command in the instructions, in the installation of the documentation. Yes?
All right, so I did the create, whatever, and then it said, what is your project name? And I followed what you did and typed in the name, Next.js template. And then it said the directory contains a file, readme.md.
Delete it.
From where?
But then it prompted me to upgrade my NPM to install 5.0.
Okay, couple of things. First, you have to do cd ... because we are in this folder, Nextjs template, right? We are in this folder. So we have to go one folder up, cd space ... Okay?
The workspace.
What?
From Next.js template to workspace.
To workspace, yes. Once we're there, we have to remove the README file because this installer will create its own README file. And if you already have a README, that's a conflict. So it says, well, you already have a README, I cannot work here. So you delete your README. Yes?
How do you start over? You delete everything?
I just hit Control C. Yeah, I didn't. Okay? Questions before I move on to the next step. So once you are in the workspaces folder and you have no README, you can run the command. And the command is npx create next app add latest. Are we there? No? npx space create dash next dash app add latest. This command you can get from the documentation. The command is right there. Okay? And now you can hit it and start. Now the first question is, what's your project name? Our project name is the name of the project that we already have. So Nextjs dash template. That's in my case. I'm not sure how you name your own project, but if this is the name, that's the name you should put there. Right? Would you like TypeScript? We already said no. We want to use a JavaScript project.
How do you go back?
Control C.
Control C? No. So he can because he put yes on type.
Control C and run it again.
Oh, Control C, just run npx create next app.
If you hit Control C here, nothing installed. Nothing is installed. The installer first asks a bunch of questions and then install all the things depending on your question, right? So if you made a mistake, just. Oh, yeah, sure. Sorry. Better? Okay, let's do it again. Okay, my app, Nextjs dash template. Be sure that this name matches your project name. You have to be absolutely 100% sure. Okay, TypeScript, no. Use ESLint. I said yes to this question. We will learn what ESLint is later. It's really good technology. It will help us write better code. Tailwind. No, of course, we're going to use Bootstrap. But again, if you want to use Tailwind in the future, you know how to do it. Use a source directory. This is a yes, because we want to, what's the importance of the source directory? It's basically all your code will go into that directory. So it's easier to identify where all your code is. Okay? So we will do yes there. And then app router, even if it says recommended, you will use no. This will be a Next.js template that will be slightly simpler than usually what a Next.js application is, right? So we hit no here. We would like to customize the default import alias. We can hit yes here. We will explain that later. Also hit enter. And now we are installing everything. Yes, just enter that last question.
How to remove readme, right? How to remove it?
Yes, you have to remove, before running this command, you have to remove the readme.
How do I remove it?
Right click delete. Okay? No? Okay, once it's finished,
I know how permission. I don't know.
you put the wrong name. Your name has to match the name that you have there in the left. In my case, it's Nextjs -template. Not sure in your project what is the name.
Oh, yeah, I got it.
I installed everything, but there's no files on the
Okay, so you can go back to your folder. So we were here in the workspace, right? Notice that this is the only folder that we have, Nextjs template, the name of my repo. So I go back to that folder, and inside that folder, I can run the command npm run dev. And with this command, I will start the template. And you see that the template is already running. It's running Nextjs version 14.1, and it's running in this port. So I can open the browser here, and we will see the template running. Of course, we will customize this template, because remember, we want this template to have Bootstrap, and we want this template to have something ours, right? Not this Nextjs.
Can you repeat the other step?
Yes.
Going from Bootstrap to Nextjs template.
We should.
It's CD.
Yes, CD is changing the folder, right? Change directory. We go to the folder with the project.
Only CD.
CD and the name of the file.
Yeah. So CD Nextjs template npm run dev. Okay, so npm run dev is the command. Npm run dev is the command that will start my application. Once I have it, not yet. Once I'm in that folder.
I ran it, but I get an npm error.
What's the error that you get?
It's like 7 of them. It's like the code, the syscal.
Okay, let's do the next step. The next step is to install some of the things that we will need for our projects, right? And initially we will need Bootstrap. So we are going to install Bootstrap in this template. So when we are creating our apps based on this template, we already have Bootstrap installed, okay? Now, I want to use React Bootstrap instead of just Bootstrap, right? I think it will be easier. We saw it on last Wednesday that we have all the components, so it's just using the components. We don't have to even worry about the classes, okay?
Amazing.
That's amazing. So let's do that. To install more dependencies on our project, we use the npm command. Now the npm command, npm means Node Package Manager. You know this. So we use npm and we do npm install, and we use an argument called --save, and then we can put all the dependencies that we need. The first dependency is Bootstrap. And the second dependency is React Bootstrap. Okay? So we are going to install Bootstrap and React Bootstrap. We need both for them to work. We need Bootstrap for the classes and React Bootstrap for the components.
Which version? How does it know which?
This will install the latest version. That's the beauty of this. So we're already creating a template that's updated up to date, right? Because we installed the latest Next.js version, and we are installing the latest Bootstrap and React Bootstrap version.
Let me ask, what if they upgrade Bootstrap and we already have this?
You can run a command.
Create again?
You can run a command to upgrade the version.
Oh.
So you can always have your versions updated. Okay, so run that command. Okay, notice that I used the -- save. I added that -- save. And that means that once Bootstrap and React Bootstrap are installed, I can see that they will be added to the project's dependencies on the package.json file. You will see them there, React Bootstrap and Bootstrap. And notice that the Bootstrap version that we're using is version 5.3, and React Bootstrap is 2.10. Right? If tomorrow they upgrade Bootstrap to a new version, you can just do npm upgrade, or there's I think there's a command for that. Okay, so now we have Bootstrap in our project. Questions?
With the same Bootstrap thing?
This is the command to install Bootstrap. npm install -- save Bootstrap space React Bootstrap. So we are installing the Bootstrap classes for the styling and React Bootstrap for the components. So we can just go ahead and use the components. And you will see the components in the documentation.
Oh my god.
Okay. So run the command, you should get Bootstrap and React Bootstrap installed. If you run it again, nothing happens because it's already installed. That's fine.
Let me ask.
Yes.
Is there a way to have a file with all the words and we don't have to use it every time on each file?
No, I don't think it works the way you're thinking it works. You will see it. Yeah. So this package.json file describes the dependencies, right? So that means that every time you create a project based on this template, all the dependencies are already listed there. So when you do npm install, everything will be installed. So your project will have Bootstrap already.
No, pero lo que me refiero es que, por ejemplo, para no tener que estar poniendo import React en todos los archivos.
Don't get ahead of yourself. That's already taken care. No, it's already taken care. Yes.
Did you get the package JSON?
You want to what? Sorry.
How'd you get everything on the left?
No se le sale el lado.
Oh, you can. Maybe it's because you had this.
I had it closed out.
No.
Know
Oh,
that?
no, yeah. Okay, yeah.
That was it. Okay. You had it.
No.
Check what happened there. Yes, Carlos.
Okay. Entonces, en este sentido, now we don't have to do that JS deliver and HTML, right? We just loaded everything on.
This is going to take care of a lot of things for us. You'll notice in a minute. Okay, we installed Bootstrap, but we still have to do one more step for Bootstrap to work, and it's basically configure it or import the styles. So in this particular template, you see it has a styles file, and it's a global file. Right there, this styling that you see here are the styles necessary for that beauty template to work, right? But because we are going to remove all that, just delete the whole thing, right? We don't care about any of the styles that this template included initially.
Delete the content.
Yes, just delete the content, not the file, because we need the file. And do an import. So add import. And we're going to do here
React.
no, Bootstrap slash this slash I don't remember the right word here, and I think we have that in the documentation. Introduction. Oh, there you go. This is the import that we need. So we need to import this Bootstrap CSS in the globals. Okay? So this is a syntax from CSS that we didn't learn because it's not a standard CSS, right? And it's the import syntax or instruction. And this instruction is basically saying from one CSS to the other, go to that other CSS and import all the classes, right? What I'm doing here is importing all the Bootstrap classes into my main CSS. Make sense? So we need that in our project. And the other thing that we can do is delete, completely delete this time, this home module. Because we are not going to use it anymore.
You got it from the Bootstrap CSS?
Sorry?
You got that from the Bootstrap CSS?
No, I got that from the React Bootstrap. Yes. Yeah, in the React Bootstrap documentation, it says you need to import this. Okay? The other CSS file, you can completely delete it. We're not going to need it.
The home module?
The home modules, yes. Delete that. Got it? So right now we have Bootstrap installed in our template. And the last thing that we need to do is to modify that main page, right? Now, just go directly to Pages, Index, and in that file, you can start deleting everything from there. And I would just leave a div. My own React template. Now, once I delete that, notice that there is a lot of stuff here that is no longer needed. So I will delete all these comments. And that will be my template, and now my template is complete. Okay? Yes, go ahead. Okay, it's not complete, right? We can still make it look better, and for that, let's use the container class from React Bootstrap. And inside a container, what we have to put? In Bootstrap, inside a container, what we put? A row. So there is a row class, and then we have what? A column. And inside that, we can put, I guess, an H1. Okay. And just to be sure that we're using Bootstrap, let's put a button, like a React Bootstrap button. The variant, let's call it primary. Click here. And that's it. That's my template. I will run it now. PM run dev. There you go.
Yes, sir. I need delay index, no?
Yes, so remember we deleted the other home module CSS? We deleted that file.
Yeah,
And we went to pages index.
index. And delay.
Delete most of the thing there to keep it clean because we want to add our own content in that page.
Okay. Info.
And I want you to tell me, what do you see? I mean, this is a React component, right? So what are the things that you see in this React component?
Sorry?
What are the things that you see in this React component?
Well, you can see that everything's been coded for you already. That's the first thing. You're putting the Pascal with the C. And so that's saying that there's a code somewhere else that's being imported from no sé dónde. ¿Verdad?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we already know that. Like, we already knew that you can import other components and use it in your component, right?
It's,
The export default.
Export default. Instead of using export default at the end, we use export default. This is only for pages, right? And this is a page. We will see the difference in a minute. But this is the pages index. So that means it's the main index. The same as we have index HTML in a regular project. In this template, we will have a pages index.js, and that will be our main component. Whatever we export that, and notice that the name doesn't matter anymore because it's a default export. Remember, when you have a default export, the name of the thing that you are exporting it's not important. So you technically can call this index, that will still work, or you can call it home, or you can call it whatever you want, it will still work, right? I think home is a good name. It's as good as any. The other thing that you can see here is that I am not importing React. And that's taken care by the framework. So it allows to stop writing repetitive code. Like, you don't have to import React from React in every component. You don't need to do that in this template. That's the other thing. Great.
Also, let me ask, although this is JSX code, why does it have the index.js?
It doesn't matter for this
Doesn't
template.
matter?
We can make it, like, rename it to have JSX. It will still work.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. The only nice thing about it is that when you see JSX, you immediately assume that this file internally has
It's a component.
yeah.
Okay.
But it doesn't, technically doesn't matter, yeah.
Isn't that better?
This is better, actually, yeah.
So
Well,
putting JSX at the end.
JSX is, yeah, it's technically better. Cool. Questions. Now remember, to run your project, npm run dev. And that's it. Okay? Now, what if I want to create components? And this is the part that is really interesting.
Just create another.
We create,
JSX.
yeah, but we need to create it in their own folder, never inside the pages folder. So we need to create another folder for components.
Call it components?
Components, yes, that's the
Same
convention.
level as pages, so it's a.
No, at the same level as source, never inside pages, because whatever you put inside pages will be a page in your app, right? So far we only have one page. Let's create a new component. Let's create that Jumbotron component. Now, for components, we do
Oh, it should be a folder, or no?
components is a folder, yes.
Right, but basically, if you're creating a component using one file, you could do export default.
Yeah, but it's not optimal because you can then import it with a different name, and you will import it. The thing with let me explain why pages are using default export is because nobody's calling this page. You will never see an import of that home, right? You will not import the home, never, right? And because you are never importing the home, because these are pages, right? You will never make the mistake of naming it a different way. But with components, you are importing the components. And you have to know that that's the component you are importing. That's why you use name exports. So in this case, I'm creating the Jumbotron. I will just put some stuff here. Maybe we have a Jumbotron.
And we don't need to do the import thing that you said? Import React?
No, that's the beauty of this. No need to import React. Let's call it a Jumbotron. So a Jumbotron's just let's call it row, and then a column, and let's call it H1 here, and then a paragraph, and then let's put a button. Variant primary CTA. Okay, that's my component. So when I want to use it, I can import it. Notice that the import so this is another thing that is optimization. Notice that the import from that component's Jumbotron is from add/components/Jumbotron. And this is nice because we don't have to think too much about where components are. We know that they are inside the components folder, so it's easier to identify what is the path of the component, right? Because we don't have to put .. to make a relative import. We can just say add components, this is the component that we want. And that's already solved for you in this template as well. Cool. Now we have a Jumbotron, so there's the Jumbotron. Okay. Now one last thing that I want to add here, and this is code spaces, but I will really like every time I save this to be reformatted, right? Because it's kind of like messy. You see that the row starts here and nothing is like indented in the right way. This is a mess essentially. So I want to use the prettier extension. Now you can use prettier directly in code spaces, right? And of course, you need to configure for matter to use prettier on save. So that means that every time you save, it will make the file look pretty. It will make the file tidy, right? It will make it look good. Okay? Questions?
Yeah, can you go back to the other phone?
Which one? Let me start recording. Okay, everything you put inside pages is a page, right? So So right now we have only the index page. The index page is just the root. But what if we create a new one? Right? Let's create the about GSX, right? And in that about, I would do this: export the file about, actually function about, and I will return here a container. Oops, this is a component. Container, and inside the container I will put a paragraph saying template created by you.
Did it just import whatever you were using there automatically?
When I hit container,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean that's the VS Code doing its job. If I need, let's say I need a button, right? I can start writing button, and these are the options. If I need that first button, I just click enter and it will import it.
Is it an extension or something?
No, it's the default behavior of VS Code. So yeah, no need to install anything. It will work out of the box, right? Now, check this out. I just created an about page. And it's just a component. By the way, everything that you put in pages have to use the export default. If it's a component in the component folder, you have to use export function. So you're using name export for components and default exports for pages. But now, the name of this page, I will run this project again. Let me see if the terminal is working.
I get it, so all your pages that would be in the menu or whatever are gonna sit in the pages folder, and they're calling components from the component.
Exactly. So let me show you the terminal. Oh, we already have a terminal running. Perfect. So that means that this is my main page, correct? But if I do /about, because I have an about page, then I will show the about page, right? It's super nice, because now we can create apps that have multiple pages. We usually create only one page, and that's the index, that's the default. But if you want to create more pages, you can create more pages inside that folder. And that's how we do it, right? We create. Yeah, the index is the root. It's the root component. Remember, at every page, what you put in is just a component. If I open the inspector here, and I open the React developer tool, I will see a bunch of stuff, but somewhere over there is my about page. Here it is. This is my about page. And inside the about page, there is a container. If I go back to the root, I will see that inside the root is my home component, and inside there's a container, and inside the Jumbotron, and inside the Jumbotron has a role, a column, and a button. Okay? So everything is right there.
Well, your index was a column?
I don't think we've got it here yet, Professor, but like, where we're gonna, like before with the DOM, we were clicking buttons and, stuff was happening. Where does that happen now? Within the component, like that was before in the JX file. So I guess it would have just happened right inside.
Exactly. So right now, this is another layer of abstraction, okay? Because in the previous template, what we had was an abstraction for the main components. We only have one page, and in that page, we'll put in the home component. The same thing is happening here, right? We have the index file, that's our main page, and in that page, we have a home component. So whatever we put in that component, that will be our main page. The beauty of this is that now we can create multiple pages. So whatever other page that you put here, that will be another page. So you can navigate to that page, right? And you can have links from one page to the other. Remember how to make a link? The A tag. So you can make an A tag here. Say href. What is the other page about? You can do that. And that will work, because you can go about and it will go to the about page, right? You can have multiple pages. Now, I will not go into details on how to make this even faster, because this is actually not the way we do this. There is a component for that. It's called link, right? So when you use the link component, that navigation is even smoother because it doesn't refresh the whole page, right? You can see the difference. So check this out. When you click link, I mean, you probably don't see it because it's only loading JavaScript. It's not even refreshing the whole page, right? And the other thing is like doing so many things behind the scene that is really hard to right now understand. Like, for example, when you have links, let me show you. Check out the network. Let me refresh this, right? Now check out the network. What happens in the network? When I hover, I'm not clicking the button, but when I hover the button, oops, nothing happened. Wait. Well, the thing that happened is that, you see that about.js? That's all was loaded. There was no like a loading like a web page completely. It just loads the JavaScript for that other page and runs the JavaScript for that other page. So it's a lot faster than refreshing the page. Not sure that we can see how that.
Would it change the address and everything?
Yeah. But it's like very different. Let me show you with two. Okay, let's make two links here. Right? Okay, so let's make two links. These are two links to the same page, right? But one is using link and the other is using an A tag. And in the link, let's do the same, but going back. So going to the root. Okay, so we have two links in one page and two links in the other. Now check the navigation. Check the navigation when you click the native links, the A tag, the anchor tags. Right? Now check the navigation when we click on the other link.
Way faster.
You see the difference, right? So it's only loading the JavaScript. And the other thing is like, once I go to the page, the JavaScript is already loaded, so nothing is loading anymore because it's already in memory. So your application is even running faster, right? If you click the native link is just saying, just scratch this page completely, let's go to the other page and start loading all the things again. Yeah, I know, that's the beauty of this. It's like you can do some crazy things with this. And usually applications are faster because it's just doing stuff in the browser. It's not even going to the server, right? At this point, I can stop the application, right? And this will still work because everything is on the browser already, right? All the code is already on the browser. So it's a lot faster. Again, not the purpose of today's class. The purpose of today's class is to create, and let's remove these ones, create the template. So we have the template, we have the pages, we have components inside the page, and we have React Bootstrap installed. So technically we have pretty much everything we need for a template. You need to commit all the changes and sync. That will push all the changes to GitHub, right? So right now my template has everything. Notice that I have two pages. Okay, the two pages are here, about and index. And the last step in my template is to go here, settings, and check the template repository. So now I can use this as a template. Okay, so the next time I want to create a project for React, I only have to go here, create a new repository, and I would start with that template. And you can even use 4Gigs Academy as the owner, because it doesn't matter, right? So 4Gigs will pay for the code space, but you will put the template. So your template is a Next.js template that already has React Bootstrap installed. Got it? Cool. Stop.